This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is in full swing here at Saks Off 5th with so many exciting trends to try. From matching sets and floral dresses to wide-leg jeans and chic accessories, find all of this season's must-have styles. Plus, shop new designer arrivals weekly. Find Gucci, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.
And
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's Teneby. The legendary one, Mark Rosen, joins us now. Teneby, you know how I said I wonder if PA played any of those talkbacks for Finch while he was here? Text messenger says PA did play some talkbacks for Finch.
Wow.
But Norda only chose ones where the listener praised and complimented Finch the whole 30 seconds. Now, does that come as a surprise to you?
I always love that one. That doesn't sound like the 9 to noon I know.
No, you would think they would have these ones that were critical of the head coach, challenging him on game decisions and player personnel. But no, they didn't do that. But my guess is who would? What fan would question a team that's been to the Western Conference Finals back-to-back years?
Yeah, I got a chance to hear
you did?
most of the interview, and right away, right off the bat.
Well, wait.
Chris Finch pulled...
Let me ask you a question.
What?
Didn't you have paint to watch dry? Or
I was doing I was multitasking.
Okay.
I was
right.
getting things done, but I was, I happened to have listening to it on my telephone.
Oh.
And Chris Finch sounded very much like you, because when asked, "What do you think of the finals?" he goes, "I haven't watched a minute of it."
Yeah.
And I thought,
people probably found that as a surprise.
Not really.
I bet people do find that as a surprise.
I think you're right. Because everyone different strokes for different folks, and I think it's not like I'm boycotting it because Oklahoma City beat us. It's just that I think he
has other interests in his life.
He does. Plus the fact that I'll go back and watch it sometime. Yeah. He's been keeping tabs on what's going on, but he doesn't need to sit and watch.
Who does?
But listen. It's one of the issues. I mean, I think everyone was asking, especially on Sunday when, we're sports fans in general are watching what turned out to be a riveting end of the U.S. Open, rain delayed, et cetera, et cetera. And you think, well, that's going to lead right into the NBA game, next game, because they played Friday night. Logically, they'd play again on Sunday night where you always get your biggest audiences. Nothing. Nada. They waited till Monday night. And I don't know if there was, I assume, that's all I know. Was there an arena conflict that they were aware of a long time ago? They had
I don't know,
concert there of some sort. They couldn't play the game, but there's no earthly reason they wouldn't have played that game on Sunday night and wait till Monday when you have that momentum going. And this is what's been going on with both, I think, the Stanley Cup final. I mean, too many days between games, and in particular the NBA. Now we got to wait till Thursday. Is it Thursday?
I don't know. I've been paying as close attention to the NBA as it once did.
But
did they play last night?
Yes.
I always love that one.
And Halliburton got hurt, and now it's like a Steph Curry type thing. He's got a calf injury, and he has an MRI schedule that was just released a few minutes ago.
We call that when they raise that banner in Oklahoma City, it should have an asterisk.
No, I think, you could look at it that way, but he's played in every game.
Well, yeah, but he's not going to. He played last night and he didn't score any points.
No, he tried, but I think OKC's a better team.
If he's healthy, well, yeah, well, maybe. I mean, they were 2-2 going into last night's game. It was even Steven, and their best scorer gets hurt and doesn't score a point.
Doesn't help.
You don't think that had a difference in the game?
Well, of course it does, and now it will, because they would never beat OKC two times in a row without him.
I don't think they can.
No.
That's an asterisk, and I'm not paying the bet.
We have a bet on that one?
I owe you more. I lost another bet to you.
I know you lost the golf one.
Shoffley.
Yeah, what were you
now
thinking?
I owe you, I think it's 14 bucks.
I think it is, yeah. 14 and growing.
And I don't know how much the other two bets are for. They're like for.
What's the other? I don't even know what the other bet is.
I've got, that one's in my control. I got Florida. You got Edmonton.
Yeah, and Florida's going to win tonight.
Well, you don't know that.
Yeah, you know what? No, I don't know that. Edmonton's capable of it. But even the game that Edmonton won.
Sounds like you're doubting Edmonton.
I am. Florida's a better team. I mean, even in the game that Edmonton ended up winning in overtime, Florida dominated, especially the third period. They are just a machine. And watching, I hadn't watched Florida hockey, but you understand why they're the defending champs and why they're going to repeat. They're just so balanced. They got explosive, they got explosive scoring on all the lines. They got the best goaltender. It's just too much for Connor McDavid to overcome. So, I mean, I think it's going to end tonight. They'll raise the cup in Florida. So, I don't know. We have a bet on that one. You're going to win that one. What? Do you want to bet on that game?
Bet.
What?
You say you think Edmonton's going to lose tonight and Florida's going to raise? Well, yeah, no, I'm saying you want to bet on it.
Yes. You want to?
You guys are just going to negate your previous bet. Because, Common, you have Florida winning the series. Rosen has Edmonton.
You're the guy that always says, though, you should,
cover your bases.
What is that you do? What do you call it when you make another bet in case your other bet loses?
Covering your.
You tell me that all the.
I'm trying to.
You know what I'm talking about.
Hedge your bet.
Yeah, you always say hedge your bet.
Well,
so in other words,
but you're just going to end up negating your winnings for the Florida side.
But what if Edmonton were to win tonight and we bet like $2? Now I have $2, and then Florida goes on to win. Then I got $7. I mean,
Sure, yeah, you could get a Game 6 win out of Edmonton, and then Florida wins on the road.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead and make your bet.
I'll go $2.
You sure you want to go that big?
I'll go $2. I'll take Edmonton tonight, and you can have Florida.
Think about
You're
that
so
one.
confident Florida is going to win tonight. Basically said they're going to hoist the claret jug.
Can we go a little deeper than 2?
I don't have the kind of money you have.
You have $64,000 in your checking account.
It's a little under that now.
Are you okay?
Put it this way: you're retired. I'm not. I'm still working.
I'm still working.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not working. But I mean, you're
Fox
not.
9 is
right. But
busy.
I mean, it's not like you don't need to make another dime in your life. You know what I know. Don't everybody?
Well, you
knows
don't either.
It. Yes, I do. That's why I could do. Do you know what baby brother Peter's going to cost me this upcoming year? That's $35,000 in tuition, and that's before I start paying for everything else.
I'm acutely aware of that. I had 2 kids go through college.
But then
You're not the first to have kids go through college.
Yeah. I need to keep working. Your kids are gone through college. That's over for you. Yeah. For you now, it's just the wine, the women, and the song is all you've got. Traveling all over the world.
Going to Cold Spring.
Yeah, and then you're
New Jersey this weekend. I mean, all the glamour places.
Well, you're constantly traveling.
Not constantly. Not nearly as much as I'm going to soon.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So $2 is plenty, Rich.
All right, whatever you want to do.
You're afraid.
That's fine. I'm not afraid.
$2.
That's fine. Well, good luck.
Connor McDavid is overrated.
Yeah, you're betting $2 on him too.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Edmonton.
Yeah, tonight. Okay. Just tonight. I'm just keeping my eye where I got Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Now you hope I win.
Well, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing it go to 7. I just have serious doubts that they're going to be capable of doing that.
Well, think about this: if Edmonton were to win tonight, then you're probably going to win that bet, and you'll still make money.
Yeah,
you're a pretty smart gambler. You're a smart cookie.
The guy over there is the one who traps me all the time.
You like this Edmonton club, don't you?
Well, they're a very fun team to watch. They're explosive, but they don't have the depth or the defense or the goaltending that they're going back to Skinner tonight that Florida has. They're just too good.
Yeah.
It's too bad. That's where the cup's going to reside again. It sucks.
That really sticks in your craw, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you?
I like old school. I'm an old school.
Well,
Grew up in the
Edmonton's
NHL.
not that old school.
I'm talking about original six, whether it's
Yeah, but
Detroit,
Edmonton's not
Chicago,
an
the
original
Rangers.
six.
I know they're not, but they're Canadian.
Wild's
team.
relatively young compared to all the NHL franchises out there. You don't want them to win?
Of course I do.
No, it sounds like you're rooting against them too.
No, I do not. Of course
Why do
I
you
do.
hate the Wild?
I love the Wild. I love the North Stars. The North Stars got to a Stanley Cup final. They got thrashed a couple times with the Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins, which were, both of them were kind of surprises. But yeah, it was spectacular. Of course, I want to see the Wild get back there. But Edmonton's closer to Minnesota than Florida is, isn't it? No, it's pretty close, actually. It's way out there.
You don't even know where Lino Lakes is.
It's in Anoka County. I know exactly where Lino Lakes is.
Well, but a year ago you didn't.
Well, you fooled me.
We asked you, and you said you had no idea where it was.
Well, I had to be refreshed my memory. I don't exactly travel that direction very often, but I...
Do you know where the Kowalskis is?
I know where most of them are.
Well, you practically live there. You better know where it is.
Do you know where St. Paul is?
Yeah, I've been there a lot more than you have.
Yeah, Tenna.
Yeah, Tenna.
Well, I mean, you got some years on me as well.
Yeah, correct. Fun to be here.
We'll take a break.
You haven't been to XL Energy Center more than me.
Is it Thursday? Well, you be careful with that one.
I don't even know what city I'm in.
I know.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got plenty to get to here in the Common Man program on the Fan.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out, but no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. And I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I'm an actor. I don't know what I'm doing. I needed help. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. I didn't even realize I needed a social media calendar. GoDaddy Aero will take your idea that sounds good and make a business that looks like you know what you're doing. GoDaddy Aero can get your business up and running in minutes. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Aero. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Man.
Double 13-14 pass on Comedies 10B. Mark Rosen here as well. Twins are struggling to say the least. They They can't win for losing, and they can't lose for winning, and they can't start winning until they start losing. Buck back in the lineup. He had his shoulder banged up, missed a couple of games. He's back. That's the good news. But Lewis, we haven't talked since his injury. Was it a calf again or something? Hammy, whatever it is.
It's the same thing all the time.
He's
a different leg.
He's become Byron Buxton 2.0.
Yeah.
He just can't stay healthy and stay on the field. The pitching staff, it's like, you lose Pablo, and then in the 8 games after that, the pitching staff has the worst ERA in Major League Baseball at like 7.07, something of that nature. They also then lose Zebby. Now he'll be back, but he's out. They bring Simeon Woods Richardson up. He's brutal his first out. In his next one, he only goes 5, but he pitches well. But then the end of the bullpen, Durant loses a couple of games in a row. They're getting, oftentimes they're getting clobbered. Their starting pitching is getting clobbered. And then when they aren't close to the one, like when Joe Ryan throws a nice game, again, Durant gives up runs late. And it's a struggle. And the Tigers continue to win the best record in baseball.
Right.
They're 9 up on the Twins, I believe. And
Correct.
Right now, if the playoffs started, the Twins are they out of a wild card? I know
yes,
it's a long
they are.
way,
But I just checked honestly before we went on the air. I think they're only a half game out of the second wild card. I mean, they're still very much in it, even though they're just a game over 500. I think. But yeah, this weekend in Houston was a perfect example. When they got good starting pitching, which they did, they just couldn't hit. They couldn't get a clutch hit. And when they didn't, then when they did get the bats going a little bit, then the pitching wasn't very good. They got walked off twice, I think. I watched the end of those games, and it was almost predictable. They got that runner on second situation, and the Twins have they open up because they're being the road team, and they couldn't advance them. They don't run them over. They just pop up, and they go out and they're going, this game's over. And it 2 outs, bottom of the 10th, whatever it is, and the Astros came up with a game-winning hit both times. So on to Cincinnati tonight, and I don't know how they're going to. I don't know if it's fixable because of the lack of pitching depth and then the injuries in the everyday lineup, and they just don't have that many resources. So what looked like it was going to be a real promising, after that 13-game winning streak, they got some pieces that are falling together. I mean, Wallner's back, and Lawrence hitting the ball well, and Correa's healthy. Buxton was on a good tear. And Willie Castro's a good player, and they got enough hitting. It seems like that, but they just don't have enough of those big innings. So, yeah, it's just kind of depressing when here we are in the middle of June now, and they're back to looking exactly like we thought they would. It's not good. Not a good way to kind of kick off the official start of summer with looking at a very attractive home schedule still to come. See where the Giants decided. Yeah. They went out and got Devers. Mm-hmm. They took on that big contract. That guy spending loads of money. I read a piece yesterday on the air, bits of it about how, San Francisco, they're only like the 17th largest market in the country, but guess what? They're or 10th, I think 10 out. Yeah, they're not 17th. They're bigger than us.
They're 10th, but their owner's not worth any more than he's worth $5 billion. That's probably what the poll ads are worth. He's spending money. They have a loaded lineup because they want to. And in that division, they have to. I mean, when you're playing the Dodgers and the Padres, you better load up. But just there's just different mindsets in different organizations and different ownership groups about what kind of. Well, yeah, we've seen this obviously long before they put the for sale sign up. Right. So this is nothing new. It wasn't as if they were spending gobs of money and making moves and. Before the trading deadline and bringing in pieces that they needed, when they were going to the postseason a few years ago when they were really a good team and won a series for the first time in how many years. Then they decided that was it. Well, that's as good as we're going to get. We're not going to make any improvements. In fact, we cut salary. So how you sell that to the public is beyond comprehension because you don't. Has there been any more? It seems like, when the Twins announced they were up for sale, they were exploring with the intent of selling the team. Was it the Nuggets owners, the Ishbias, whatever their name is? Arizona, they said, yeah, we're very interested. Then all of a sudden, just kind of out of nowhere, the rug got pulled out from under the poll ads there when he decided to invest more money in the Mets. He already had money invested there, so he's sticking with the Mets. So then, in the bits and pieces I've heard from some of the insiders is there have been conversations, but it doesn't seem like anything is like imminent, or do you think something's imminent?
Well, we did a live podcast last week for our Talk North Sports, and Suhan was there, Lavelle was there, and I asked him that question. Lavelle, I don't want to misquote him, but he seemed to think there were two parties that were advancing the conversations more than just cursory. So, he didn't name names, but there was more than just, kind of just little conversations. They were moving it along.
They were just kicking the tires. There was
more than that. They've advanced it. So I don't know where that's going to lead, how long it's going to take. We're obviously in the middle of June already, and we thought maybe something would be done by now, but here we are. And so, it's going to certainly, even if people were to buy the team, it's going to, nothing I think will happen until this season is over in terms of finalizing anything or seeing any changes. It's different than, the Timberwolves situation with Laurie and A-Rod, where Board of Governors. That's going to be, they're going to be taking over, obviously for this season, and that'll be done. There'll be changes made, and nothing, dramatic in terms of GM or coaching or anything like that. But those guys will absolutely be firmly in charge of that basketball team.
They apparently the asking price by the Twins is $1.7 billion is what the asking price is, which some people think is a little steep, and that might be some of the hesitation for somebody to pull the trigger. And also, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm trying to get my head wrapped around. The Twins they've leveraged $400 million against the team, right? So in other words, they say it's almost like if they've been using it as like collateral for other business, and apparently this is what I was told by listeners. And again, I'm not sure, it's on text messages. I'm not sure. And the listeners know more about it than I do because I don't understand finances. But that the poll ads apparently not only want to get the $1.7 billion, but then they want you to take that $400 million and pay that. Now that $400 million, when you're talking about a $1.7 billion team, doesn't seem like, to me, that doesn't seem enough where a team would go, wait a minute now, that's getting a little steep because most of these individuals or consortium of players, like you have A-Rod and Laurie together, even though I think Laurie's more of the money man. If they can afford to buy it, I don't think, if they really want it, I don't think that extra amount of money is going to scare them away, is it? Particularly when these sports teams don't come up for sale it's not like every year there's 6 or 7 teams for sale. They don't come up for sale that often.
And you don't see too many owners crying poverty.
Yes.
In any sport. At some point, the bubble is going to burst, I think, in terms of everything that's going on in professional sports. Obviously, the NFL is king. We know that for any number of reasons. I just saw today there's for the Vikings game in Dublin against the Steelers. There's 600,000 people that have signed up on the queue to get tickets. 600,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I saw on the network, and I don't know what Dublin. This is the first time they've held a game there. In fact, Abbott was telling me they don't even have like a press box. They have like where PA will be calling the games. They'll be in the stands and they'll put like a little table over the area. And so he'll be like a row behind the fans. So, I don't know. I can't picture what it's going to look like.
Trust me. I've done that many a time.
Oh, well, high school games. Yeah, that's the way they did it. Sure. Yeah. But I think a little unusual. It's certainly not that way in Tottenham, in London, where they have a huge press box accommodating everybody that's there. So, anyway, the point of the matter is the NFL does have a stranglehold on everything with TV rights, but I think at some point, ticket prices, everything, that it's just going to be this salaries. I don't know how to answer that question, what you're posed. The specifics of what the poll ads, you get in the financial weeds of what they're dealing with and what they expect in return. But it's always more complicated than going back to the days when Calvin Griffith sold this team to Carl Pohlad for what, $55 billion or whatever it was, 60
I think it was 44.
40, whatever. Yeah, they had the ceremony at the Metrodome, and Calvin shook Carl's hand, and that was the end of it. The Griffith family was no longer involved in baseball in Minnesota after bringing the team here in 1961. But that was a naive kind of time when it was just a real innocent time. The Griffith family just wanted to get some money back. They did fine for their own sake, but the business of baseball was too rich for them.
You were and you were tight with Clark Griffin too, weren't you?
Oh, with Calvin?
Clark.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Clark. Yeah, his son.
We'll take a break, and when we return, talk a little bit. I want to talk some Timberwolves with Mark Rosen. We'll do that next. Common Man program on the Fan.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out, but no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. And I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I'm an actor. I don't know what I'm doing. I needed help. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. I didn't even realize I needed a social media calendar. GoDaddy Aero will take your idea that sounds good and make a business that looks like you know what you're doing. GoDaddy Aero can get your business up and running in minutes. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Aero. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Couple 13, 14 past. I'm Common. He is 10 to B. Mark Rosen is here as well. Saw a story, and there's conflicting reports on the interest level of Durant wanting to consider Minnesota as one of the teams he'd like to play for. I mean, it's out of his hands. If the Phoenix Suns cut a deal with the Wolves, they cut a deal with him. But it doesn't sound like he really wants to play here. Matter of fact, the story I saw on CBSSports.com said he has zero interest in playing for the Timberwolves. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, unless Ant picks up the phone and has called Durantula and said, "Hey, buddy, we're best friends. Let's remember our times at the Olympics, and let me lay out all the answers to any concerns you have about playing here." Durant knows the landscape of what's going on here. I don't know what his vehement desire not to play here is based on our weather in the wintertime.
Taxes,
right? Taxes, combination of those things. It can't be because of the makeup of the team, because I think this is a team that is probably as ready to stay where they are or to move up to take that next step.
Maybe.
Maybe but I mean, they're very much in the conversation. When it used to be, we would really be in the hinterlands out here. Why the fact that a Kevin Durant would even think about wanting to come here, or any big star in the NBA, where they can pick and choose. But in this case, you can't pick and choose. We had this discussion last week, and I said, as excited as I would be as an observer of the Wolves, as someone who's covered them and everything else, to have Durant here, I think the team's biggest need is at point guard, and I still think it is. So,
you want the Garland character, don't you?
Well, he's hurt, but it's not to say that he couldn't heal in time. Fox potentially could be available from San Antonio. They have a surplus. They have, he's a terrific player. And Connolly is known for the element of surprise. So I wouldn't be surprised if something happens in a dramatic fashion with the draft coming up, and probably waiting till then, the end of June, early July, for financial reasons and other reasons. But if the guy now we haven't heard that from Kevin Durant's lips, but athletes can back out of anything, and if they were to make that move, Phoenix, and he would go, well, they blew it out of proportion. I really, it wasn't my first choice. Whatever, they can massage it any way they want.
Well, let me ask you a question. You brought up the Wolves seem to have a team that's got a window that's open.
Mm-hmm.
He must not particularly care too much about that, does he? Because are the Heat any good?
They're good.
Yeah, but they're not really. I mean, they're not.
They're okay.
No more
the
Jimmy
playoffs
Buckets anymore.
Yeah.
How about the Spurs?
Spurs are on the cusp, I think.
Are they? You think? Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, with the draft
and the Rockets
picks.
were pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, Rockets were very good.
Okay.
1 year wonder. They'll regress.
Yeah,
maybe.
So I guess my whole point is to me, he's got his ships. I'm not saying he wouldn't want to win, but it's not like, boy, I've got to get that championship. I want to go. It's like, hey, I can go to a place where the weather's warm. I like the guys on the team, and you know what? There's no state income tax. That might be that? I don't know, because I've not talked to him. That might be more important to him than if the team's ready-made to win now.
It
right?
absolutely could be a factor. I'm not denying that. I mean, that's something that the agents speak, and the ways they can. There are ways of working around the way you structure the contract with deferred income, and you're getting into the weeds with all that. But obviously, he's got money to take care of the next 5 generations of Durantulas out there, and it's also like, well, I mean, knowing that he does have this really good relationship with Ant, and he's on the verge of, if he takes that next step, Ant is, of being, the guy, and with Durantula, it would be quite a duo to watch. I don't know, again, we've seen, as we watch this championship come to an end, I think the value, and something Finch even talked about, that the value of having more depth on your team is more evident now, quality depth, than ever before, with both teams that are there. I mean, you look at, and we've had, Chris mentioned it this morning, 7 different champions in the last 7 years. So that's an item to hang your hat on as well, that you don't have those dynasties anymore, that we saw going back to the Bulls and what Golden State did. And, there are other Lakers. I mean, it's just, you just don't know what's going to happen year by year. Look what happened to the Celtics this year, the Cavaliers this year, 2 big injuries that derailed their seasons. And it's not just a given that OKC is going to repeat. Even though they got a young team, they even got more draft picks. It looks like they could be they could be on the road for 5, 6 in a row here, at least being in championship contention. So who
It'll
knows?
be 6 years, by the way, not 7 years.
I'm sorry, say it again.
It'll be 6 years, not 7 years. You said 7 different champions in 7 years.
Oh, I thought that's what Finch said this morning.
Well, that would be 6.
Okay, well then.
Because Golden State won 2019, they won 2022.
Okay, well then, I don't think I misquoted him, but that's the case. But the point of the matter is.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They lost that year.
Yeah,
they were in the finals.
Yeah, no.
You're right.
Yeah, Rosen.
Yeah. Well,
I did want to push back on your point guard comment, though.
Okay.
That our biggest need is a point guard. Didn't we just use the number 8 overall pick last year on a point guard?
Yeah, and
isn't he our guy of the future?
Yeah, Rosen.
Yeah, but that future doesn't mean it's going to start this year.
So we're gonna shut him out from development.
No, that's the last thing they're going to do.
You didn't want to shut McCarthy out of development. You said you're ready to have him. You don't want Rodgers because you're hindering his development.
So
now
you're comparing J.J. McCarthy and Rob Dillingham in terms of their
Well, Dillingham's had more success as a pro than...
He was drafted higher.
And he was drafted higher, and he's had more success as a pro.
I'm shaking my head.
Well, he has. Who's had more success as a pro?
He's a young man.
Answer the question, Mark. Dillingham or McCarthy?
McCarthy has looked great in OTAs. He's unbeaten. Anyway, Dillingham is, and Finch talked about him this morning too. But he's still a very young player. He's got a lot to learn, and they love him. I think Terrence Shannon is the other one who's older, and we saw his impact, bigger impact than Dillingham had. You count on those two guys. Those are the development guys that you want to have take that next step, and that's what we're talking about with having that quality depth, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going by what, again, what Double T said too, Tucker. He just feels that in watching this team, and Conley's obviously going to be a part-time player. He's got value, but he's not going to be the guy. And I think you just have to have a different look. Now, if Durant changes his mind, or if the deal's done, congratulations. Let's go. Let's see how it works out. But I'm not confident that's certainly going to happen. But it's just it's almost to the point now where it's getting annoying. But this is what happens in the world of social media and everything, because everybody's trying to jumpstart the thing, and I don't think it was ever going to get done before the draft. But certainly anything's possible.
With a victory tonight over the Aces, the Lynx would be back in the Commissioner's Cup final. Your thoughts?
Well, they love to play the Liberty. I know they don't. Otherwise, they don't have anything scheduled against them until the end of July. And I saw Caitlin Clark single-handedly destroy the Liberty the other day on national TV. She was hitting three-pointers. She came back from that injury with a vengeance. My God, did she put on a shooting exhibition, which is what the WNBA needs with Caitlin coming back for all sorts of reasons. But the Liberty lost their first game. So, yeah, we could have a rematch before the regular scheduled game, which is what a lot of people want to see, especially the Lynx. They'd like another shot at them right now with the way they're playing. So, yeah, I think, they're going to win tonight. I mean, the Lynx, they're playing the Aces?
The Aces.
Yeah, they're banged up, and they're not that good.
They got an ace in the hole, though, I bet.
Yeah, they're not going to win here.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's intriguing. I mean, the draft is next week, right? The NBA. I can't. Here we are at the end of June. We haven't even finished the finals yet. Crazy.
Who do you think the Wolves are going to take? We don't even have. Do we even 17th? Have a first round?
Yeah, they have 17th. It's not a bad pick.
I'm sorry.
They have two picks, I think.
They have two picks.
17 and 31.
Yeah, the 17 is you can get a decent player. I mean, I don't know who they're
maybe thinking. A point guard.
Maybe. Probably a big center that they like to draft. There's a lot of different options out there.
It seems like if you don't get a guy in the top 10, you don't usually get a really good player. But wasn't Joker was he a second round pick?
Yeah,
so it can happen.
Sure, especially European players that you don't know that much about.
You can grab guys and but generally speaking, like in the NFL,
even SGA, I don't think went in the top. I don't think he was a single digits, was he?
I think you're right.
I think he was in the teens.
In the NFL, you can grab guys all over. Even undrafted free agents like Johnny Randall. That you go to the Hall of Fame.
Just to think, when we lead up to the NFL draft, all the speculation. We have the mock drafts and all the stuff that goes on. By the time the draft comes around, you're pretty familiar with most of the players that are mentioned. In the NBA, other than the number one pick, the kid from Duke, you'd be hard-pressed to name one other player.
Yeah, unless you really follow college basketball.
And the problem with college basketball is hard to follow college basketball because of NIL and the transfer portal.
Those guys are one-and-dones anyway.
They're all one-and-done. Yeah. But the point is, you're not familiar with the names very much. I mean, maybe if you're...
It's not like Christian Laettner, where you saw him play 4 years at Duke.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my point.
Well, speaking of NIL, did you see this story? This was an Associated Press story by David A. Lieb. What's the date today?
That's the 17th of June.
From earlier today, just a couple of hours ago. It says, Louisiana is poised to hike taxes on sports betting to pump more than $24 million into the athletic departments at the state's most prominent public universities. Legislation pending before Governor Jeff Landry would make Louisiana the first, or as I like to say, Louisiana, the first state to raise taxes to fund college sports since a judge approved a landmark settlement with the NCAA, allowing schools to directly pay athletes for use of their name, image, and likeness. Anticipating the court's approval, Arkansas this year became the first to waive state income taxes on nil payments made to athletes by higher education institutions. More states seem most certain to adopt their own creative ways to gain an edge or at least keep pace in the rapidly evolving and highly competitive field of college sports. David Carter, founder of the Sports Business Group Consultancy and an adjunct professor at the U of Southern California, says these bills and the inevitable ones that will follow are intended to make states college athlete friendly. They will no doubt continue to stoke the debate about the perceived preferential treatment afforded athletes. This is a whole new step into another direction where now the states are actually, row the boat, sky 'em up, go Gophers. Let's raise taxes to generate money to give athletes. And I'm not be kidding saying me. It's right or wrong. I'm sort of indifferent to the whole thing, but this is a whole step in. This is the giant leap for mankind.
Right.
This is what's after that. I don't know if you can do any more than raise taxes. You already have your Dinkytown athletes, your organizations that are trying to generate money, right? You're trying to get some Fortune 500 companies to pitch in, or just wealthy alumni. Now they're looking towards state taxes to fund college teams.
Yeah, it's so far out of anyone's realm that grew up watching college, and I don't ever think that college athletics, especially football in particular, the money-making sport, was ever that pure. Obviously there was a great deal of under-the-table stuff that was going on. The most successful coaches, even in basketball, when you think of John Wooden at UCLA, he had his legendary money guy, his bag guy that would pay players off. There was, he had the squeaky clean image, but there was always the stuff going on behind the scenes. But now it's out. The curtain has been, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Well, the curtain's wide open and it's exposed for everyone to see because they're not even trying to, they can't hide it anymore. It's all on the up and up, but it's, no one has any idea where this thing is going to end. I saw a shot of, I don't even know what college it was, where the football players, I think, had pulled up for some summer practice, whatever, and they're all driving sports cars and, Maseratis or whatever. I'm just going, they're 21 years old. There's, and where do you go from there? And that's, especially the big money schools, I don't know how you compete against them.
Well, this story goes on. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but it talks about the smaller schools are even at a greater disadvantage
absolutely.
now. And it's, you have
to have separate divisions. Even within Division I football, I don't know how.
You're getting ripped.
Okay.
Mr. Selfie, Mark Rosen, complaining about social media. Think about it.
What are you talking about? What was he talking about?
You're Mr. Selfie.
No, but what was that complaining about social media?
I don't know. You were saying something about I wasn't listening.
That's a stretch.
Yeah.
Guys trying.
What do you have against social media?
Trying to. I don't have any. Well, I do have things against social media.
I do too. Trust me. I stay away.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I fear it. I loathe it.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, except if I'm talking about my sponsors.
Well, that's different.
Or if I'm ripping the local sports teams, or praising them. I'll give them a
once
verbal.
Once in a while, you will.
I'll give them a verbal slap on the back if they're deserving of one.
Well, you do. You're fair that way. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, that's the problem. That's not my fault. I play better. Get to the Western Conference Finals and get back to me. The Wolves finally did.
Yes, they did.
Our first is July 28th, a Monday. Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
Can you make a special exception and come out that Monday because it's our first show at training camp?
I don't think so.
What do you mean you can't? Well, you don't think so? Why can't you be there?
Well, I have.
Let me guess. You're going to be roughing it in Cold Spring.
That's the weekend I'm going up there.
Is it really?
End of July, yeah.
I always
We're going to Cold Spring.
Will we be there that Monday?
I'll be back, but I'm helping my daughter move, and I have an appointment. My cardiologist that day because of working with you. I really do.
Yeah. No,
that's in the morning, though. But
yeah.
No, I probably won't.
We'd love to have you out there.
Can you explain to me, no offense, but at your age, you're helping somebody move? Like, can't you just throw
I have
a couple
movers.
bucks? No.
When I say helping someone, I'm not doing any hefty.
You're not doing any heavy lifting.
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
I'm pointing. I'm just going to be there. No, I actually have.
He's just pointing.
I have a doctor's appointment, but no, I'll be out there plenty. I'll be out there probably the next day, the 29th, 30th. We got a long summer ahead down at TCO.
This one says he was complaining about Durant rumors. How can you forget that fast?
I didn't know what he was referring to. Durant,
because you were
this is so much on social media as much as it is on if you're watching, the NBA shows on ESPN or whatever. There's just as much going on a constant basis with the Brian Windhorst and Shams and the rest of them are all, and that's what their job is. There's speculation about all that, and it's fun in the middle. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, people get fatigued by look what we went through with Aaron Rodgers, how long that took. This is nothing compared to that, and that's just the nature of the beast. So it's not just social media; it's the network shows that that have to fill time and talk about these things.
Here's I'm getting ripped now.
Oh.
You're indifferent to the state raising taxes to pay for college athletes? Wow. You don't have to be taxed if you don't sports bet. It's not like they're demanding. It's not like an income tax where you don't have a choice when they do a state income tax. If you make money, the state takes money out. If you buy groceries at the grocery store, there is a tax. There are taxes taken. If I don't sports bet, so if you don't want to, there is a difference. If you don't want to support college athletics with your money from you on a tax, and I use quotes because you're laying down, then don't bet on sports. There's a large difference there. I think it's not they're not taking the state income tax.
No. Good point.
So yeah, I am indifferent to it. I'm just indifferent to the whole nil thing. And I think players should be able to. I've always thought that they should get some type of compensation other than just a scholarship, but I don't know how to divvy it up. That's why it's been so complicated.
Well, it's been complicated. Now it's even more complicated.
Yeah, it's even more complicated because does star quarterback get more money than place kicker? And he probably should. So I don't know. I just don't.
It's like the radio station. The top performers get paid the most money.
Tennessee and I would like to be in that.
To be in that conversation.
We're just not. That's fine. We're doing okay.
You have your little lane, and it's fine for you guys.
Yes.
What else was I going to say?
Well, you got about music in 10 seconds then? 30? You got anything else on your mind? You wanted? Maybe we can save it for tomorrow. Somebody asked an interesting talkback. I'd rather you get into it a little bit because you've done this. He was saying, why are there inside sources? Why would inside sources, like if you're with a team, why would somebody that's involved with the team give a reporter a scoop on something that, he's not allowed to say requesting anonymity? Just that, how does this? So I thought maybe we could dive
into that. I think a lot of it is agent driven.
Well, that's what Tennessee was saying.
Yeah, I think it's more agents than someone. A PR person's not going to do that.
Right.
It's it could be a source within upper management or someone, but more times than not, it's the agent that wants to get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the case.
That's usually the inside information.
The music's playing.
You broke a lot of news in your career. A lot of scoops. The legendary one.
About that.
And now
we're better off with.
Yeah, we're you stayed here for 50 years, and we're all better off for it.
Oh, man.
We'll see you tomorrow, 2:00.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's the legendary Mark Rosen. Tennessee, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
Yes, you too. We enjoyed our visit with you today. We truly did. Here's what we'll do. We'll turn it over to Big Ticket and JG. They're next. Stay here. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is in full swing here at Saks Off 5th with so many exciting trends to try. From matching sets and floral dresses to wide-leg jeans and chic accessories, find all of this season's must-have styles. Plus, shop new designer arrivals weekly. Find Gucci, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.